What's the point of a long life if you don't feel good, if you're not comfortable, if you can't move, maybe you're in pain?
We have 4 tips for you that are simple to put into practice and also scientifically proven, so you too can achieve a pretty long, healthy and fulfilling life with ease and confidence. When you ask people how long they genuinely want to live, they often say, "I definitely don't want to grow so old that I suffer or become seriously ill." When you ask them, for example, if you don't have any illnesses and you feel incredibly fit, how long do you want to live? Most people, of course, say forever. And I believe that's actually how it is because it's really so beautiful here in this world. And that's exactly why the topic of a long, fulfilling and healthy life is genuinely a heartfelt priority for everyone here. And that's why we also wrote a book about it together with Christoph Glaser, who is a very well-known breathing coach on this topic. And this book is called Exactly What We Wish for You, for yourself, and also for us, which is Live Long and Well, a guide to a healthier, more fulfilling life. And that's why today we're sharing the 4 top tips for achieving that goal. And we'll start with 1. That's not only essential for managing pain, but also deeply connected to overall health and well-being in many ways. So you can genuinely become healthier and even live a longer life.
First and foremost, it's the foundation for everything we experience in our bodies and what we strive to accomplish every single day. We want to move freely without pain, engage in regular exercise, and tackle all the tasks that everyday life demands of us. And that's why I always say, moving without pain is the essential foundation for everything else. Otherwise, with pain, everything becomes completely worthless. No amount of money, no health. When pain is present, everything else feels restricted and just stops being fun or enjoyable. And that's why tip number 1 is crucial. Stretch daily and make sure to do our bottleneck exercises regularly. From head to toe, the majority of pains occur primarily because there's too much tension in our muscles and fascia, causing them to pull excessively and uncomfortably. That generates forces leading to pain, tear, arthritis, herniated discs, and similar issues. And that's why, with just 10 to 15 minutes of daily effort, you can do so much to steadily reduce the pain, particularly if you're already experiencing it. Or if you work preventively, you can ensure you never experience any pain. And that applies, as mentioned, to the vast majority of pain people deal with today. But that's not all, because it's also about something else that we should do automatically every day for at least 6 hours.
We should probably do it a bit longer, and that means getting enough sleep. So 7, 8, or even up to 8.5 hours is actually what the current consensus suggests we need in terms of sleep to truly recover, recharge, and function at our best. So it's not just about the quantity of sleep, but it's really more about the overall quality of it all, really. And when I take a moment to reflect on what patients have consistently shared with me, it's clear that the vast majority of them don't sleep well at all. And that is a real catastrophe for a long, healthy life, because during sleep, our body recovers and your body heals, rejuvenates, and restores itself. And that's why you should make sure you can sleep well. And how do you do that best? Yes, by establishing a consistent nighttime routine that helps you unwind and relax before going to sleep. So it should be very calm and peaceful. For instance, aim to maintain a consistent bedtime every single night whenever it's possible. They say the sleep before midnight is the healthiest, which is particularly important now in summertime. In wintertime, make sure to add an extra hour because the clocks turn back, so aim to go to bed by at least 11 o'clock to maintain a consistently healthy and steady sleep routine throughout the entire winter season and ensure your rest stays on track. That's the important part. Then, before going to bed, avoid any stimulating conversations and perhaps even treat yourself to a nice warm shower to unwind, which can be really beneficial for relaxation and help you drift off more easily. And very important, make sure not to overeat in the evening. Because it's often the case that we end up indulging in something at night since we've achieved so much throughout the day. But that's usually bad, because when we end up eating too much or maybe even snacking, especially since that drawer is always filled with those tempting sweets, they don't do us any good at all and can even mess with our sleep or energy levels. Because the moment we eat a lot in the evening, especially if it includes sugary snacks, our body can't focus on what it's actually supposed to do at night, which is repairing our cells and rejuvenating itself. And that's why it's crucial to stop eating as early as possible. Opt for smaller portions, prioritize healthy meals, and ideally eliminate sweets entirely so that such a drawer doesn't even exist in your home anymore. Yes, and now we continue. It's about something very important, which I think we mostly underestimate. Well, I know we love to brush it off because when you're in the middle of life, it just is what it is and you're happy. So you're glad that you can take action, that you have ideas and actually get things moving forward in life. So it's about the stress, both the positive and the negative kind. What does it have to do with a long life?
Stress has really become a significant factor these days. Who isn't stressed out now? Through family, kids, the dog, work, and even sports activities. Today, basically everything is stress. We have a certain input, and of course, we should try to keep it as minimal as possible. If it has to be there because otherwise we couldn't manage our lives, then we have to expose ourselves to it. But it really depends on what you make out of the input that enters you as stress. Manage it effectively, for example, by breathing mindfully, practicing breathing techniques, and taking deep, controlled breaths regularly. Because breathing can influence emotions, it has the power to significantly alter your body, fostering a better, more stress-free state of being. For example, exhaling longer than inhaling, or what many yogis do who practice yoga. They breathe in a way that when breathing with the mouth closed, it creates a sort of whooshing sound. But look into it. We also have videos on how you can breathe like that, all of which leads to the stress that comes into us being processed differently, and of course meditating, simply calming down. There are various types of meditation, like a mindful hike, or even sitting quietly and focusing on your breath, which can help reduce stress significantly. Our exercises with deep breathing, all of that already goes in the direction of meditation. It doesn't have to be so esoteric. Just calm down, tune into yourself, and settle into peace. And that makes the stress factor much more manageable, I'd say, so it doesn't have as much of a negative influence on your overall well-being, daily life, mental state, and productivity. And now number 4, something we do every day, multiple times, but done the right way, simply leads to a much improved state.
Well, and he looks at me. That's my expertise. After all, I'm the nutrition doctor here. And therefore, of course, it's all about healthy eating, making smart food choices, and embracing natural, wholesome nutrition. And there's already a lot said there. When I say natural nutrition, then please reach for things that are just unprocessed and in their natural state. So fruits, vegetables, salads, nuts, seeds, legumes, all of these are really wonderful options. Foods for our body, and they do us good. And please, if at all possible, avoid processed foods, industrial food, as they often lack the essential nutrients that our body truly needs to thrive and stay healthy. Yes, and maybe just consider leaving out the sugar completely. I actually know quite a few people who drink 5 cups of coffee every single day and then add sugar to each one of them. A heaped tablespoon of sugar weighs 6 grams, so that means 5 times 6 equals a total of 30 grams consumed daily. That means per week, it's 210 grams of sugar. Times 4 makes it 840 grams of sugar. My goodness, that's just absolutely insane when you really stop and think about it, isn't it? Crazy, right? You really have to think about that. And you haven't even eaten anything yet. So cut down on the household sugar, particularly that pure white sugar. It's definitely worth reconsidering your intake. As far as it goes, and you're putting in a lot of effort to achieve a long, healthy, and fulfilling life.
And if these tips were already insightful for you, then you might want to consider getting our book, because that's where you'll get even more tips. For instance, the book provides 7 major tips for each of the essential areas it addresses, including pain-free movement, smart nutrition strategies, and effective breath-based mindfulness techniques. And you'll even find tests to assess your current state in each of these areas. You can purchase the book in bookstores, on Amazon, or order it directly from us in our online shop.